I don't know how they have worked. I don't know how their technical background is. Probably they will only go by the brand endorsement, whatever it is. What goes into the engine, that is more important. It's like a fresh blood. High compression engine, if you're riding from bumper to bumper traffic, you will lose the viscosity of the oil. Otherwise, you will have a lot of damages in terms of your camshaft, your inlet, your exhaust. An oil, when it basically comes for an adventure bike like a GS or something like that, it should withstand the high compression. 20 years back, where bikes like this was like very rare. Hi all, welcome to my crib. This is MW Performance. I am the proprietor for this. My name is Mahendra B. Basically, I am not from a aspect like from a mechanical background or something like that. I am an MBA graduate, passed out, did my post-graduation in marketing and worked for a corporate company. But this biking has actually fueled me a lot, you know. This has been associated with me since the last probably 10, 15 years though. And once I got out of my corporate job, I just thought this is something which is my pure passion to do it up for ADV sections and adventure sections and today's current models which is coming up. And yeah, here I am. I've been here in this business since the last 7 to 8 years down the line. Well recognized in the BMW Bangalore group. Plus also, we cater to other adventure bikes like the Triumph or the KTM or any other bigger motorcycles, which is for long haul. And yeah, here we specialize morely in engine management and other stuff. The best of the products gets inside the motorcycle, whether it's so-called lubrication. We associate with one of the finest brands called as Pakelo, which is one of the finest engine oils, which is made available currently in India. Pakelo seems to be one of the finest and the customers one of the finest choices and the first preferences. Every thousands and thousands of kilometers which is done on an adventure bike requires something called as a wall clearance, which is the most important and integral part for the engine management system. At MW, we specialize mostly in the wall clearance work so that the performance of the motorcycle increases and you will have a very sharper throttle with a very good response. And this is done usually in a kilometer slot between 25,000 to 30,000 kilometers. Once in a while, you need to get this done to keep the engine healthier. Otherwise, you will have a lot of damages in terms of your camshaft, your inlet, your exhaust, and all other internal things which can wear and tear eventually during course of time. But at the right time, when you do the wall clearance work with the change of cam pins and everything else, you will have a cleaner engine and a healthier engine, much better. In the Indian market today, there are a lot of choices. I mean, a buyer has got a choice of a super sport, he's got a choice of a naked, he's got a choice of an inline, anything, whatever you want. But today's trend is the ADV section. Because this is one motorcycle which will take you to a destination choosing your own direction, right? You can choose your own direction, however, whether it's off-road, trail course, anything. It's one bike which will do the job. Unlike if you take an inline, you will not be able to reach that. You need a tarmac. You cannot go into trails and other stuff, right? But this is one bike which does the entire thing. So you can have fun over the trails, you can have soft trails, you can have hardcore trails, you can do river crossing. I mean, it's pretty much everything. See, I am owning this bike since the last 6 to 7 years. I put in about good 57,000 kilometers. I have done pretty much everything on this in terms of trail, off-road, anything and everything else, including long distance tour. So this is one bike which will actually never give way. Like unlike an inline 4, if you're riding on a high speed, again, you'll have to stop for a couple of fuel stops and all those things. Then comes electronics, which starts kicking in for the inline. So there is a limitations for this inline, probably 200 or 300 kilometers max, but on an ADV, you can do miles and miles and miles together. So there is no doubt. Today's cultural trend of people shifting from a Harley to adventure section is more compared to any other motorcycle, which I see in Bangalore of late or throughout India. 98% of the people, youngsters who are there right now, it's affordable. Please understand. Today, there was a time 20 years back where bikes like this was like very rare, very, very rare. It was not available in the market. Today, you have a choice. A lot of options. Kawasaki has got a fleet of inlines. It also has a fleet of adventure bikes. Same is with Suzuki, same with Honda, same with Yamaha, KTMs, BMWs, Harleys. Everything is come inside to the Indian market. But of late, very lately, they have come in. Now, there is something called as all the youngsters who wants to do this Sunday morning ride or something like that with a group, a bunch of people. So it's like how do I put it? If one guy buys a Z9, he will say, oh, dude, this bike is kick-ass. He is also on the next clan. But if the same person jumps into an ADV, he'll also jump into that. So I've seen people, graduating, because I myself have graduated since 14 different bikes. So I landed up with this. So you can imagine, I went into a cruiser, I went into a super sport, I went into a street naked, everything. But finally, when I landed in ADV, this is one bike which actually does everything. It's four different, three different genre of vehicle in one. So he came over here, rolled over my bike. He said, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? I said, Baba, you tell me what is your usage? Do you want to have fun? You want to have thrill? You literally want to have a pocket rocket? Then I'll work it for you. He said, go ahead, you do what you want. Give me the bike in about 10 days time. So yes, first we changed the loop. Then we changed the clutch pack. We went in for a recluse stock ride clutch pack, which will pump in another 45 HP more. Then we extended his rotors, brake rotors, upsized his rotors. Then we added a piggy bank to it. Now the bike actually flies like a S1000R, that to a GS. So assuming the recluse clutch pack is such that it's designed in such a way that if you're doing a quarter-mile drag, probably on this ADV vehicle, if you want to cross the 200 mark, you will definitely use all the 6 gears, correct? But that's in a rush. So you will get the 200, 180 mark in the first 3 gears.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that. So that build was like incredible. Then we told him, take it for a stretch for about 500 kilometers and give me a call. He is blown by that. So probably this is the 4th or the 5th build which we have done. So we had this Triumph Tiger 800 XCA, which a customer came from Chennai and dropped it up here because apparently he had left it in the authorized center and I think they damaged the water pump coolant hogitala though, Malesh? XRX, the water pump coolant hogitala. So basically their client had left the vehicle there to get his entire vehicle checked because he himself had bought a used bike. And what the technicians told the customer was there is some issue with the water pump. So instead of installing it in the right way, they reversed it. So the whole engine, when he started the bike, the whole coolant and engine oil was mixed onto the head and the bike was seized. So they gave him an estimate of good number. So he reached out to me and we got the vehicle here in our bay, dismantled the whole bike. I think probably in about 6 days we figured it out, changed the parts, and yeah, that build was a good build and it was a very quick build, in fact. Basically now, since we are in India, we have 4 different seasons, from the highest temperature to the coldest. So engine oil is something most important thing, an ingredient which will actually enhance and perform well on a motorcycle. So for example, there are bikes which is designed, to reach to the highest destinations. For those kind of temperature climates, you need an engine oil which will actually withstand those colder temperatures, plus also the heat, the heat management. So basically here in India, I see a lot of BMW motorcycles, running on a 5W40 weight. So this is more inclined towards colder regions where, you're riding in Alps or Swiss or something like that. But during course of time, the leverage or probably the number of kilometers may not last that much as they say. It may come probably about 7,000 to 8,000, after which you will feel very vibey, grindy, and all those things. But if you're going to put in the right engine oil or the right lube inside the motorcycle, I think the bike will be like perfectly in a fit and condition. Well, see, if it's an ADV bike, most of the owners right now currently, it's a trend. Basically, it's like a trend, you know. They're all corporate people. Some people may have a time to dedicate, or some people may send it to a service center, authorized service center, or a third party tool like us to have a check on this. So what we usually do is check the level of engine oil before any ride. Because if it's low, probably if it's been 6 years, 6 months down the lane, or it's been ridden, you know, kept idle for almost 1 year, the viscosity of the oil loses. So it's better for every ride, whenever you're going, please check your engine oil level and then start your ride. See, what's happened here is any workshop where you go in, right? I don't know how they have worked. I don't know how their technical background is. Probably they will only go by the brand endorsement, whatever it is. But here, me without checking, I will not recommend anybody else. So after I went through this, the first time when I tried it out, I felt in love with it. And then there was one gentleman who was doing K2K, that is Kanyakumari to Kashmir, on his 1200 GSA. He is actually from Coimbatore. So he stopped by here and I said, you try this oil. You know, you don't need to change it after 5,000 or 6,000 if you feel they're very vibey or something like that. But this guy came midway back, changed it only in Delhi after 14 and a half, which was unbelievable. So experiences like that, you know, I cannot keep telling everybody that, you know, you use this. They will ask why. You know, when I say that it's one of the finest, oh, is it? We have never heard of this brand. What goes into the engine, that is more important. It's like a fresh blood. You'll feel better, you know, on your body when your fresh blood is there. So the same equation is there on the engine. If there is a fresh oil, the right oil which goes inside gives you the right performance. Unbelievable performance. Whether it's the lube, the products, the parts, whatever it is, I ensure that the result is 100% satisfied. That you get that smile on the client's face, you know, that I am happy with this. So that's how most of the newbies, new customers are coming in. My old customers are still repeatedly with me itself. And it's growing, Mark. You know, it's a biking commune is such that it's like a family. So when you do your job well, you know, the third person is also recommended to come here. So you'll also welcome him to the family here. That's how it works.
Does engine oil affect mileage?
Definitely not. It only enhances the performance of the motorcycle.
And does oil affect pickup and smoothness?
Of course, yes, it does a lot. It all depends upon what spec you're going to put it inside.
Can bad oil damage the engine?
Definitely it can damage the engine. It can damage the camshafts, it can damage the rocker arms, it can damage a lot more other things which a rider can never expect it. But to avoid that, it's better to usually change the oil periodically depending on the number of kilometers you guys ride or something like that, and ensure that you put the right lube recommended for that motorcycle.
So when it comes to engine oil, what do you never compromise on?
Quality of the oil. An oil, when it basically comes for an adventure bike like a GS or something like that, it should withstand the high compression. The oil should withstand that. And I personally feel that after I use it, then only I can recommend others how the performance of the engine feels after putting up the engine oil. But no doubt, I think Pakelo is one of the best.
How do your customers respond after using Pakelo?
Oh, they are in love with it. Basically, they are in love with it. And the best part is, they don't need to do the 10K mark. So they're like extend it to another 2 more. So it's basically 12,000 as a leverage for an engine oil change, next change. But I usually tell them, you know, to maintain the engine healthier, change it once in 6,000 kilometers.
How does engine oil help control engine temperatures?
It does a lot. In case if you're using the right oil, you know, your momentum of all your mechanical parts inside is also withstanding that heat. So you will not feel that heat when it's outside.
As we all know, you are a Pakelo user as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to performance under high heat or temperatures in traffic conditions, how is it different? What have you? See,
what I've observed here is most of the people who are using a regular oil, when they're standing in bumper-to-bumper traffic, it's very natural that when a high compression engine, if you're riding from bumper to bumper traffic, you will lose the viscosity of the oil. It becomes more thinner and thinner. Then you'll listen to all sorts of grindy noises from the engine, you know. But I haven't heard this on a Pakelo, not till date.
Any bikes that you would recommend that can be switched to Pakelo that you know? What type?
I would suggest all the bikes which is actually having a 400cc switch over to Pakelo.
Why do they compromise on the price?
See, there are work centers where basically, how do I put this now? They may be new to the products. If I say, if any newbie comes and says that if I'm going to use only Pakelo here, so what is that oil? They're not heard. See, the thing is, this oil has come a little late into the market, unlike any other brand which is already established. But when they entered, at least, most of the people are aware that, okay, it is an Italian brand. Now I see the same fluids going into a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or anything else, which has been catering worldwide, right? In fact, Martini was telling that uses Pakelo a lot. They consume a lot of Pakelo engine oils, diesels. So yes, some people are not aware of the brand yet, but we are trying to create that. So here, when a client walks in or asks, what's the choice of lubrication which you guys use, we highly recommend Pakelo in the first place because we're the second, concerned outlet here in Bangalore for catering for bigger motorcycles. And and anybody wants Pakelo or if it's not available, please reach us out. We'll help you out with that.